very important to all of us, yeah, for us to restore the church so we can have a place of worship.
Tonight, the future of a piece of history is at risk. In 1886, brick mason Isaac Dockery built New Salem Church. It's Sevierville's oldest surviving building and the county's oldest brick church. The church changed its name to New Salem Baptist Church in 1897. And after building over 115 years of history in Sevier County, the church was listed in the National Register of Historic Places. And now, all of that history could be in jeopardy of fading away. Reporter Gabrielle Hayes tells us how the New Salem Renovation Task Force is hoping to save the church while they still can. Gabrielle?
Daniel Isaac Dockery, along with many others, built New Salem back in the 1800s. What's happening today ties right back to that legacy.
The history of New Salem Church goes back over a century.
New Salem Church is the oldest brick structure still standing in Sevier County.
In 1886, Isaac Dockery, his family, and many others came together to build the church brick by brick.
He was a brick mason, and he not only taught his children masonry work, but back then you had to make your own brick.
But decades of storms and water damage almost put a dent in that legacy.
The church has been flooded time and time and time again.
But today there's a new hope. The New Salem Renovation Task Force is working to restore the historic building's glory and a piece of their own history. Ron Brabson is Isaac Dockery's great-great-grandson.
I think about what my great-great-grandpappy, what he would think.
Alicia Burden is another descendant.
It's important to preserve the history of New Salem Baptist Church because we are all descendants from it.
Since 2006, the group has worked and held gospel concerts to raise awareness about renovation efforts, but also to keep the history and the spirit alive. Something Brabson says means so much to him, Sevier County, and his family.
It is your heart song, you know. My great-great-grandmother, Charlotte, she was a slave. He wasn't. So we've come a long, long way.
Renovations will happen in two phases. First, preparing the outside, then remodeling the inside. You can find more information on the history of the church and ways you can help on our website.